Yeah, I was sitting on the floor for this one. No reason really, I just think it's kind of comfortable down here. I'm mad. I've had a very long day today. I had a nice day, but a long day. I'm extremely exhausted. But I'll tell you what, my day was completely ruined when I got on Twitter a bit ago, and I saw the box art for the Nintendo Switch 2 games. Why? You see, I, like many others, tuned into the Switch 2 Direct last night, or at least it was last night for me, it was 11 PM. I sat through an hour of them announcing some pretty interesting things. Personally, I quite like what they announced. You know, you got a new Donkey Kong, you got like Mario Kart, Legs, not a sequel to ARMS, unfortunately, but Legs. Hey, that's all fine and dandy. I was pretty content with the Switch 2 Direct. I liked it. I'm okay with the price of the system. Game price is not so much, but overall, pretty satisfied with what I saw. I will be pre-ordering pretty soon, I think, when I have $700 in my account. I accidentally spent it all on Minecraft Steve over here, who was not $700, but he did the costed amount. He's going back up there. That's not related to this, I just wanted to point out that I own that, it's kind of funny. But there is one thing, besides the game pricing, I suppose, that rubbed me the wrong way. This fucking box art. Yeah, I don't like this. And ultimately I could leave it there because, I mean, if you're into box art for some reason like I am, you can probably figure out everything that's wrong with this, or especially this. I hate this one so much, I'll get into that in a minute. Yeah, there's not too much great about it, but I'm gonna break this down and explain to the 3 people that care about box art as much as I do why this is a problem, because trust me, it is. I'm going to start off here with just the box art for, I mean, it could go for any Switch 2 game. The art that itself in most of these games, fine, great. Donkey Kong Bonanza, which hopefully when I'm editing I'm just pointing to, looks fine. I'm okay with the actual art. I'm not okay with anything else here. First and foremost, this arse red header at the top pisses me off. See, with Switch games, I think the little red sort of, I don't know what to call it, header at the top, it was small, it was in the corner, you could tell it was a Switch 2 game, but it didn't really interrupt the art, which was good, because in most cases, Switch box art was pretty nice. In most cases. I think it worked in terms of box art that Nintendo's done. It was one of the less obtrusive ones, you got to see the art beautifully, it just worked. This doesn't. Now, I'm not saying having a header at the top of, like a box art doesn't work. I mean, for example, look at like the PS4, the PS5. They're not perfect, but they're decent examples of how to make this work. Because they're colors that aren't fucking hideous. This, on the other hand, is so red. And look, that works when it's like a little header in the corner, or even the spines of the Switch 2 games, it works. But when it takes up such a big fucking chunk of the body, it's so ugly. It also doesn't help that the Switch 2 logo is so small and just in the middle. I don't like that. It just means you have this massive red space across the whole thing with the logo so awkwardly centered. At least have the Switch words on the side, not so small under the fucking 2 logo. It's like, it's just ugly, man. The other issue I have, with this box art, specifically the front, is in terms of Switch 2 editions. This was a thing they announced in the Direct last night, right? Certain Switch games, I believe, I'm not going to list all of them, but some of them were Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Party Jamboree, Metroid Prime 4 and Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Those are the 5 that are jumping to mind right now. Those might be all of them, I can't remember. I think Pokemon was in there as well. Are getting updated Switch 2 editions, which have updated visuals, new content, all of that. Fine, dandy. The pricing structure on that and the way that works kind of pisses me off, but that's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is the fact that the box art for them looks like this. Personally, I don't even think these should have physical releases. If anything, it should just be, if you already own these games, put them in the Switch 2, and you get these upgrades for free. But no, you have to pay extra or just buy the game separately, which I find stupid. But oh my god, this box art hurts. Beyond the header at the top that ruins every Switch 2 game, this text at the bottom ruins the art in general. It blocks even more of the art than the header already did. And it's just text explaining how Switch 2 versions function. Like, I get it kind of needs to be there, but could you not put it on the back? Or make it like a little white label at the bottom? Like, for example, when Switch games needed internet connection, it wasn't pretty, but it wasn't this obtrusive. Like, what the fuck? And like, yeah, the average consumer is going to pick this up and maybe be confused about why this is being released on Switch 2. But there's no one stupid enough that you need this much text ruining this much of the art just to explain to them how this functions. I take that back. There probably is a few people like that, but are you really going to be thinking about the average consumer here? Come on now. I don't know. I don't think many Switch 2 editions will be released. I think they're going to do a few at launch and then sort of call it quits. So hopefully this won't be too obtrusive a thing across many games. But, I mean, nothing is going to stop this arse red header. That's just there until the next system, which might also have an arse red header. This genuinely might be up there as like one of the most ugly parts of Nintendo box art ever. Like with a lot of other systems, I feel they chose fairly appropriate colors. I mean, the 3DS and the Wii both had these sort of white. I don't know why I got SpongeBob squiggle pants off the shelf. It was the first thing that I saw. Had these like calmer white sort of headers. They don't distract from the box art too much. It's not an annoying, obtrusive color. And it's smaller, you know, in the 3DS it's on the side. Here it's just a little, I don't know what you call it, like sort of like the Switch. It's just in the corner. Even the Wii U, which does take up this whole section, at least had the common sense to be rounded. And it's blue, so again, it's a perfectly fine color. Switch 2, I shouldn't have done that to Smash for Wii U. The Switch 2 doesn't do that. It picks an arse ugly color and decides to spread across such a big chunk of the box art. It's just, at the very least, this does something that the Switch doesn't. The red doesn't bleed across to the entire spine. Some pointed out that you can see this in the parental controls video. Yeah, I'm glad, sort of. I'm conflicted on this part. On one hand, I like the consistency of the Switch box arts, the way you'd have, like, they're just all red. And I mean, there were a few exceptions to that where they put the game logo on the spine instead of, like, just plain white text, which pissed me off. It wasn't that big a deal. They looked cool on the shelf together. Same goes for like your average Wii U game, which is blue on the side, and even a Wii game. Most 3DS games. But this doesn't do that. Instead, the red bleeds to the top and bottom. But yeah, you just have it's like a what would you call it? Like a DS game is a pretty solid example. Give me a minute here. I'm running over to the shelf. I'm back. Clubhouse Games is what I decided to pull off the shelf, where you just sort of have like a custom. I wouldn't call it a custom spine. This sort of just do whatever the hell you want spine with the little DS header at the top. That's what the Switch 2 has chosen to go for. And I mean, yeah, that works. I'm okay with that. But I really like the consistency of the Switch 2. Switch 2. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to wait and see how they do these spines. There's gonna be some dumb inconsistencies here, I can already feel. Like, I distinctly remember there's one Wii U game that, like, forgot the blue ridge at the top. Of the box art. I forget what it was. Put it on screen here. And that was really fucking weird. And I feel like that's going to be an anomaly that happens a couple times with the Switch 2. Calling it now, sometime in the console's lifespan, there's going to be a game where the red extends to the entire spine. It's going to be so fucking disgusting, but it is going to happen. Whether it's a first-party game or a third-party game, I'm just calling it now. And if it does happen, you come back to this video, and I want you to comment, Lucas, you're right. You're a prophet. That's all I want. My hair's getting in my eyes. Honestly, at this point, I'm just rambling and like, yeah, this isn't that big a deal. Like, box art isn't the make it or break it for really any system. It's the games inside. And I mean, judging by what I saw in the Switch 2 last night, I have pretty good faith in this system. I don't think it'll sell as good as the Switch, because that was sort of like the Wii or the DS, where it was, I wouldn't call it a once-in-a-lifetime console, but there was something really special and unique about it. And the Switch 2, I wouldn't say it's entirely rehashing what the Switch did, but it's very much an upgrade of that rather than its own unique thing, a la the PlayStation 5 to the PlayStation 4, or the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 3. It's an upgrade. It's a substantial upgrade. That's why it's the Switch 2 and not the Switch Pro. But yeah, it is ultimately just the Switch 2. I do still think the console will sell well. I don't think it will sell as well as the Switch, but it'll do decently. But yeah, this did kind of piss me off. So thank you for listening to my, I don't know, probably like 10, I'm going to edit this later, it'll probably be like 10 or so minutes. Me ranting about boxes. You'll be hard pressed to find someone that cares about shapes and colors as much as I do. And when you find them, get them help. Please, for their sake, and yours. Thank you.